Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom nestled between majestic mountains, there lived a beautiful princess named Seraphina. She was adored by all for her kindness, grace, and wisdom. Yet, despite her many blessings, she felt a void in her heart. She had everything she could ever need: fine clothes, luxurious palaces, and a life of ease. But she longed for something different, a simple, peaceful life, far from the prying eyes of courtly expectations. One fateful evening, a mysterious woman appeared at the castle gates. She was draped in a tattered cloak and carried an air of mystery about her. She approached the guards, who eyed her suspiciously, but her serene presence calmed them. "I am the enchanter of the wilds," she said, her voice soft but powerful. "A life of freedom and simplicity." Princess Seraphina overheard these words and, intrigued, stepped forward. She asked the enchanter, "What do you mean by a different life? I am surrounded by luxury, but I feel a great sadness within me." The enchanter gazed at the princess with knowing eyes. "Your heart is restless, my dear. The life you lead, though beautiful, is not your true calling. Would you be willing to trade all that you have for a life where you can truly be free?" Seraphina hesitated, torn between the life she knew and the mysterious promise of freedom. But the idea of peace, of truly living without the heavy crown of royalty, called to her. Without a second thought, she agreed. The enchanter nodded, and with a graceful wave of her hand, she cast a spell. "From this moment forth, you shall live, not as a princess, but as a pet, under my care and guidance. You will experience life as the smallest creatures do, with no responsibility, no worries, just the simple pleasures of existence. A life where you are cherished for who you are, without expectation." With that, the princess was transformed. She shrank down to the size of a delicate, beautiful butterfly. Her once regal gown now a soft, shimmering cloak of iridescent wings. She no longer spoke in words, but communicated through the pure essence of thought and emotion. The enchanter took her in her hands and carried her gently to a small, hidden garden. It was a place of peace, filled with vibrant flowers and soft winds. The garden was beautiful, but it was a world entirely different from the bustling life of the kingdom. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. As time passed, Seraphina realized the true nature of the life she had chosen. She no longer had the luxury of grand feasts, elegant balls, or the adoration of her people. Instead, she lived in the quiet serenity of the garden, attended to by the enchanter. She no longer needed to make decisions, as she was cared for, fed, and loved by the woman who had taken her in. But over time, Seraphina began to feel the consequences of her choice. The simplicity she had craved became a heavy burden. There was no purpose in her existence anymore, no chance to make a difference in the world. She missed the joy of helping her people, the pride of standing tall as their leader. Though she lived a life free of worry, she felt hollow, as if something vital was missing. One day the enchanter came to the garden and gazed at Seraphina with a sorrowful expression. "You have lived as I promised, my dear, but I see the sadness in your heart. The life of simplicity you once craved has left you yearning for more." Seraphina nodded, her delicate wings fluttering softly. She no longer desired to live without purpose, no longer wished to be a pet. She longed for the life she had once known, to take her place again as the princess, to lead and love her kingdom once more. The enchanter sighed and whispered a spell to return Seraphina to her original form. But it came with a price. The spell could not undo the time lost. When the princess was restored to her full size, she found that the kingdom had changed. Her people had moved on, and those who had once adored her had forgotten her name. The palace was in ruins, and the land she had once ruled was now forgotten. Though she was once again a princess, Seraphina realized that her journey had come at a great cost. She had traded the very essence of her purpose for the illusion of freedom, and in doing so, she had lost the chance to live a meaningful life. With a heavy heart, Seraphina left the kingdom and wandered the lands, seeking to help those in need. She found joy not in crowns or thrones, but in small acts of kindness. She learned that true freedom was not found in escaping one's responsibilities, but in embracing them with love and grace. And so, the story of Princess Seraphina serves as a reminder to all who seek to escape their responsibilities. Sometimes, what we long for most may not bring the peace we expect, and the true path to happiness lies in the heart, not in the absence of duty.